New York has a lot of restaurants, so many in fact that there's no definitive count, and estimates range from 15,000 to 30,000. So it's amazing to think that for the first half of its existence, from the early 1600s to the early 1800s, there were exactly 0 restaurants in New York. Sure, you could find meals served in the dim confines of coffee shops, taverns, and chop houses, serving a set menu of meat and potatoes with gravy. But none of this was exactly fine dining. Not that New Yorkers necessarily cared in the early days, but by the 1800s, the city certainly had its share of wealthy families who you'd think would demand better options, but they ate at home. Food prepared by their chefs and staff. By the 1830s, the city was growing and changing, and 2 brothers from Switzerland, along with their nephew, would seize the moment. As the city expanded up the island, New Yorkers began living farther away from where they worked, and coming home for meals during the day became impractical. At the same time, wealthy merchants and traders, as well as businessmen from other countries, began to desire a higher level of dining establishment, and one that was more European. And that's what they found here. By the time Delmonico's opened this location in 1837, they were already a famous restaurant in New York. John and Peter Delmonico had opened a pastry shop down the block at 23 William Street in 1827, which was quite popular and within a few years expanded to an eatery as well. Nephew Lorenzo arrived in 1831 and would eventually become the manager and the key figure in their dominant position in New York's food scene. So what was so different about their place? To start, the food they offered. Traditional French cuisine and pastries at first, but in later years, their famous chef Charles Ranhofer would invent or popularize a number of new dishes. And then there was the fact that you had a choice. Food was ordered from a large a la carte menu instead of from a limited set menu, and you could order as little or as much as you want. It was also how they served it. Individual tables, even private rooms instead of communal tables like at the taverns. And the service was prompt and respectful. The food was brought out one course at a time rather than all at once, meaning you got to enjoy each dish while it was still warm. And you could arrive at the restaurant whenever you wanted and stay for a while. Most other establishments had meals at strictly set times, and everyone ate quickly and then left. They were also farm to table, so to speak. They had their own 220-acre farm in Williamsburg in their early days. Credited as the first true fine dining restaurant in the country, Delmonico's would maintain its reputation as the premier dining establishment in New York City for the rest of the 1800s, consistently opening new locations in fashionable neighborhoods. It was the most prestigious restaurant in New York, and eating there regularly showed that you were part of the elite of the city. But beyond its own spectacular success as an establishment, the standards set by the original Delmonico's would permeate in ways large and small throughout the city, changing how we eat, what we eat, and laying the foundation for New York to become the greatest food city in the world.